my friend, former colleague, Sri P.C. Mohan, Sri K. Sadashiva Shanaji, our President, Sri H.V. Kiran, Sri Sama Prasad, ಮಾಧ್ಯಮ ಮಿತ್ರರೇ, ಗೌರವಾನ್ವಿತ ಗಣ್ಯರೇ, ಕನ್ನಡ ಅರ್ಧ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಮಾತಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. I know Kannada, I can speak little Kannada, but I don't want to speak because a person who is fluent in other languages trying to speak a language in which he is not fluent is not a good thing. This is the experience I have. Friends, before I say anything, today is the Panchayat Raj Divas. We have three-tier administration in the country, the central or union government, whatever you call, state government and the local bodies. They are important pillars of our democracy. Let us all commit ourselves to strengthen this pillar of democracy by strengthening those institutions and respecting those institutions. This is my appeal to the people of the country and also to the leaders at various levels. 3 F's, funds, functions and functionaries, has to be devolved and transferred to these local bodies. Then only they will be strengthened. So my appeal to all the state governments across the country is, please strengthen the local bodies by which you will be strengthening democracy of the country. My dear friends, I really feel very happy to be here in this pleasant atmosphere, the Bangalore Press Club. But I'm sorry to disappoint you, it's not a press conference. And the Vice President, because of protocol, he cannot address a press conference and take questions. I can allow questions in Rajya Sabha, but here I have no power and no possibility of questions being allowed or answers are given. I feel really happy because press has an important role in a nation's progress, in the strengthening of democracy, in reaching out the aspirations of the people and reaching out the developmental initiatives of the government at the center and the state and also at the international level. It gives information to the people. And I always feel, I would like to stress that information with confirmation is more than an ammunition. This has to be understood in real spirit, and everyone has to pass on the information with confirmation. You will be giving power, you will be giving ammunition to the people by giving correct information. So I feel happy whenever I meet press. And I am also thankful to the press for last 50 years. Starting from 1972, I have been in the news except for a break of 17.5 months where I was in jail during emergency. Otherwise, I used to find a mention in regional, in national press for whatever activity I used to take up. I would like to really thank the press, which was also instrumental in my getting promoted to various levels in public administration. Within 3 months, I will be completing my tenure as the Vice President. I don't know I will be again visiting Bangalore during this tenure. I will be visiting Bangalore because it's one of my favorite places, even otherwise. Not because I have been MP here for 18 years, even otherwise I like and I love Bangalore and people of Karnataka for their excellent, friendly, affectionate behavior. So that way I will be coming. But in this responsibility, I am now going around the country. You know that My favorite pastime was meeting people, greeting people, talking with people, walking with people, eating along with the people. Going to Janardana and have my favorite dosa. Evening, having some sort of rava idli, then Parag Hotel, which is now I am told converted into other name, by other name. This is a beautiful place. Beautiful place, and also I enjoy spending time here, going around the state. As I was functionary of a political party, I was in charge of the state. To discharge my responsibility, I used to go around up to Tehsil level. So I know Karnataka in depth. And I enjoyed whatever responsibility I was given. But now I am not in politics. I am retired, but not tired. But I cannot speak politics or get into any other issues. I feel privileged that I have earned many friends among the media people in various places across the country. I have almost covered all the states during my tenure as All India General Secretary of a party, All India President of a party, Rural Development Minister, and then Urban Development Minister, and then Minister for I&B, and also Minister of Parliamentary Affairs. And this, I can tell you, as Vice President of India also, I have again covered almost all the states, including northeastern states, where I had an occasion to spend night halt in every state. The last state remaining was Sikkim. I made 3 attempts, but I could not land there because of weather conditions. Fortunately, last month during my trip, I succeeded in going to Gangtok also, and I had that privilege of visiting all the states, including union territories. During my visit to different places, I always used to interact with people. After I became Vice President, I was told and I was briefed about the protocol. After hearing the protocol, I was a little worried. If I go by this, then Vice President comes in, welcome, Janaganamana, address, then Janaganamana, then go. I said, what for we going and meeting people? You can do it virtually also. Actual is different from virtual. The virtual has become factual in between for variety of reasons. So I told my officers, aisa nahi chalega. They said, sir, this is the framework. Then I told them, I will go little before, meet the people, greet the people, and then spend some time informally interacting with them, and then move around. And also I would continue to interact with people, meet and greet particular youngsters. So I made a point to visit almost all the universities, important universities, IITs, IIITs, IIMs, research centers, agriculture particularly, and also CIA, FICCI, ASSOCHAM, Rotary Club, Lions Club, different people's organizations across the country. And I have utilized this opportunity, I can tell you here from Bangalore, to the fullest possible extent of visiting most of the organizations and most of the prestigious institutions across the country. So that's why I get at least satisfied. My dear friends, we are the largest democracy in the world, and functional democracy, not like namesake democracy of other countries. We have a robust, independent and vibrant media, which is very important for proper functioning of democracy. We also feel proud of it. We also have an independent judiciary. at various levels. Then we also have legislature at the state and at the national level, and also elected local bodies. The press is often referred as watchdog of democracy. The unbiased, faithful coverage is very vital for strengthening democracy, for enhancing the prestige of journalism, politics, medical profession, education, and media journalism profession. They are all were called as a mission, and nobody should give scope for any remission by doing any omission, and they must have passion for sake of the nation. But you know that decline has come at various levels, starting from political level. Values, standards set before us by our forefathers, by our constitutional makers. Slowly, erosion has started. We must guard against that erosion and see to it that we maintain the standards and traditions and keep the image and prestige of the country. My appeal is to politicians for their conduct, for their caliber, for their capacity. They should have these qualities. That's why I tell people, please elect and select people with character, caliber, capacity and conduct. But some people wisely, these 4 C's have been replaced by other 4 C's. The other 4 C's are caste, community, cash and criminality. In between, in certain places, they started dominating politics. And thereby politics are vitiated and weakened. So I personally feel that every political party must have a self-code of conduct and see to it that their members follow the code of conduct. And I preside over the Rajya Sabha, upper house of the country. And I see certain times the disturbances, the happenings, like the people, I also get disgusted. And it functions, the Rajya Sabha and Parliament functions very effectively. Very effectively. Wonderful, great speeches are made. But at times, when the mood changes or they get direction, you know what is happening. I need not explain. It's painful even to repeat that also, the scene. Because people look to Parliament for guidance, including children and all. If they look at the scenes, sometimes I say nothing shall go on record. This should not be telecasted. I don't want people to see this low level. That is the reason. Otherwise, and some people, there is another view saying, sir, let it go, let the people see. There are 2 views, of course. We have to take a view. If you come prepared and speak, make a contribution in strengthening the legislations and also analyzing, criticizing the functioning of the government, highlighting the failures, appreciating the good work done. That is the duty of a legislator. But unfortunately, at times it do not happen. At times it happens, but here you people come into the picture, it is not reported. If you make a constructive speech, media do not give it coverage. This is my grievance with the media. Obstructive, destructive, that finds a place. I asked some of the media friends, I interact with them, I talk to them frankly. They said, yes, some members, they come prepared, make excellent speeches. They said, okay, it is normal. They told me, and I have started insisting, they said, sir, if a dog bites a man, it's not a news. If a man bites a dog, it becomes news. If members have come to Parliament, behave in a disciplined manner, okay, that is their duty. If they create obscene, this thing, tear away papers, get onto the benches, broke the mic, then it becomes a news. I said it's also a news, it is also a news, but it is not the news. You have to understand, you have to encourage constructive behavior of the legislators so that they also be impressed that yes, what they are doing is being noticed by the people through the media. So this is one aspect which I feel the media should keep in mind, and you give some space to the other things, but don't make it a headline. And some people make headlines and they feel that is a deadline. I used to tell media friends, your headline is not a deadline to me, and I will continue with my line. But it's not that everybody, some people have a weakness of only looking at the headlines, they don't go inside. So that being the case, the media has to be really more constructive in reporting the constructive speeches. Constructive do not mean appreciating the government. The legislators have a responsibility. I always tell them also, let the government propose, let the opposition oppose, let the house dispose. And at the end of the day, you must go by numbers, you can't help it. You have to go by numbers. Democracy means, again, numbers. After discussion, one has to dispose of the business. This is what the Constitution has told us and expected all of us to behave. I am raising certain of the issues because I have come here and people must have an opportunity to know what is in the best interest of those people. But I also feel that the political parties should evaluate a code of conduct for the conduct of their members, not only in parliament, also outside, also in the government. And secondly, political parties also must make a commitment to see that whatever they promise to the people in manifesto, that is followed. And third thing, I feel that of late this changing of parties has become a big menace. In a democracy, you can change. If you don't like a policy, or if you don't like a leader, and you are not able to impress upon him, you can. But when you leave a party, you must leave the position that is given to you by that party. The basic principle. I am of the firm view. And for that, this anti-defection law, there are certain loopholes. The anti-defection law allows wholesale defection, but not retail defection. So people try to mobilize number and then you want to resign, you want to leave the party, resign the post. You want to get re-elected, okay. But during that period, you should not be offered any post, should not be given any post. This has to be followed by all. And if necessary, I think the time has come that we should really amend this anti-defection law, because there are certain loopholes. And also the chairman or the speakers, they are given the power to decide about the defection. But most of the cases of defection are not effectively dealt with, and they are dealt with affection. 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and sometimes the decision is given, even by courts also. Courts also give their decision after the tenure is over. So there has to be clarity in the law, and the presiding officer or the speakers, or including the courts, time schedule has to be there. It should be decided within 6 months maximum. And I personally feel can be decided within 3 months. I have disposed of certain things. There is some haste. What is haste? What is haste? I don't know. It may be of taste to some people, changing parties and all. But even your dharma, your culture, and your constitution tells that leave the post and then go wherever you want to go. This also is another important change that has to come, is that one change I want to see. And then another thing is that media should not club news and views. News should be separate and views should be separate. Views are for the editorial page or opinion column. News has to be presented to the people without any addition. This is another important aspect the media has to keep in mind and introspect and discuss what are the problems of doing the same. Otherwise, and you read 4 or 5 newspapers, what is there in this newspaper will not find place in the other newspaper. And of late, politicians, political parties also started their own paper. This is another weakness that has crept into our system. Because media is supposed to be independent. It should be like a mirror. When you see a mirror, your face should reflect as it is. The media also should reflect what is exactly happening without coloring it with their views. The views of the owner, or even views of the editor, or whoever it is. It happens at times, and that is really weakening democracy, I personally feel. And now with the addition of this social media, social tensions are being added. There are positive things about social media, but there are many negative things. People are taking advantage and spreading. Sometimes division among the people, hatred, religious tensions, adding fuel to the fire. This is another area where we have to think about it, and the entire country, particularly Parliament, has to seriously view this and come with some sort of solution. You cannot have censorship, but at the same time you cannot allow this sort of thing. There has to be certain regulation, but regulation should not become a strangulation. This has to be kept in mind. I told the government also, informally and also formally in Rajya Sabha from the chair, that this is an important aspect. They do agree. All political parties are also agitated, and it affects them. And it affects others. Some people do not mind it also. So this has to be kept in mind. This is another point I want to say. Truth. A lot of new channels are coming. They come to me sometimes and they ask me, sir, what is your message? I said, Satyaniki daggaraga, Sanchalananiki duranga. Be nearer to truth. Away from sensationalism. Sensationalism means senselessness. This has to be really kept in mind, and if everyone really gives a serious thought to this, that will be useful to the democracy of the country. And then, my dear friends, I also feel that the media, which has played a stellar role in the freedom movement, and even in emergency also I saw Ramnath Goenka, Nikhil Chakravarti, Kuldeep Nair, Arun Shaurya, some of these journalists, they were in the forefront opposing these restrictions, exposing the cause of freedom of press. Consequences, of course, there were there. But at the same time, they did a great job. The media should remember those great men and follow the standards maintained by them. The Kasa Subbarao Garu, to many people, even in Karnataka also, they have shown the path, maintaining standards, dignity, and then giving message to the society. That is equally important. These institutions, they should be respected. Institution. You are not dealing with a person. You are dealing with a chief minister. You are dealing with a leader of the opposition. You are dealing with a prime minister. You are dealing with a governor. This has to be kept in mind. And the institution. If they go wrong, you have got every right to criticize, but should not undermine the institution. One. And secondly, nowadays we find a lot of personal criticism, including criticism against the families by politicians of different colors. This is also happening, which is not good for the country. These things, observations, I just made it because here I am there in Press Club. I thought I should share some of my thoughts. India is marching forward thanks to the great things done by great people. And I always feel this land, this water, this air has something great in it. And if they are given a proper opportunity, they will excel. People are excelling in various parts of the world, Indian people. We should recognize, we should respect, we should encourage such people. That is part of our civilization, and we should all dedicate ourselves to the cause of the nation. This is my observation here, friends. I feel personally very happy that I have been invited and I have been provided with an opportunity. I am thankful to the President, to the Vice President, to the Secretary and other members of the Press Club that you all come here and gave me this wonderful opportunity to meet and greet and talk with you. But of course, it's a one-sided talk. I can't help it. Thank you very much. Namaskara. Dhanyawad.